Well, hello there. How are you going today? Hope everything's fine and dandy and you're part of this strange realm. Welcome. Today we're going to go through some more videos that show the strangeness that's going on around us. Some theories, some information, and I guess we'll leave it up to you to discern whether it's true or not, whether you want to take it on board or leave it at the door. And that's what this is all about, guys. Don't believe anything I say. Don't believe anything you hear on the videos. This is all about being autodidactic, which is self-educated. So take the information on, don't judge it as right or wrong. And as you learn more about the topic, you will come to your own conclusions on it. And that's what this is all about. And just before we start, I just want to say that thank you for everyone who comments, and likes and everything, the videos. But yes, in the comments, I've seen for the last couple, at least, and this has happened before, is people are saying my voice is being silenced. So there's bits of the videos where I'm told that my voice just goes to zero, right? That's definitely not me. I've gone back and checked the original videos. That the sound is great on them, so it's YouTube censoring me. And so one thing I thought of is, have you tried turning on the closed captions? That might work. I don't know. Let me know if you try that and it does work. And the other thing I can do is basically start uploading to a different platform, right? Like Rumble. So I'm going to look into that as well and get something sorted, and I'll let you know what's happening there. All right. Now let's jump into it.
Well, looky here. I'm pretty sure everybody saw this video.
Just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us.
Do you know what else the same guy did a few years ago? I I didn't find it. I found it for you, but somebody else actually went down the rabbit hole and found this clip.
Just gorgeous girls get vaccinated. Gorgeous vaccinated girls get boosted. And gorgeous boosted girls get boosted again.
Coincidence? And the same guy that was promoting the COVID vaccines and the boosters and everything is the same guy on the cruise ship crying about a hantavirus. Coincidence? What do you think? I think it's
I think all the world is a stage. Like it just is. Like this is clearly it's a psyop. It's completely manufactured, just as everything was in 2020, just as we've seen so many times in the mainstream media, especially to do with war, right? So I question the whole war narrative, especially what's going on at the moment. This is all fear and none of it's real.
Fake, 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 fake.
This is a letter from HMRC, and it has achieved something that most people say is impossible. You or your advisor told us that you no longer need to send us self-assessment tax returns. We agree and withdraw the notice to file a tax return we sent you. That letter is real. It is on HMRC's system. My partner has not filed a tax return, and HMRC agreed in writing that he does not need to. This was not about hiding income, it was not a loophole, and it was not a mistake. He wrote to HMRC and he asked them one question. Please confirm the legal basis on which you believe a tax return is required from me. They could not confirm it, because tax obligations depend on status and capacity. They depend on a valid connection between the obligation and the person it is addressed to. That connection is presumed to exist. It has never been established by contract. And when you ask the system to prove the presumption rather than simply accepting it, this is what happens. If you want to know exactly how he achieved this, the full explanations are available for you at notaperson.org. If you want to understand whether this applies to your situation, the course walks you through it step by step.
There you go, notaperson.org. And I'm guessing that's for the UK. She sounded, like she was from the UK. Obviously, it's going to be different in other countries, but if that is the UK, let people know in the comments. And there you go. And you'll find that this is in pretty much every country. I'm sure it's in every country. None of the tax is legal. None of the tax agencies have been ratified, so they're not legal. They're not part of the government. And like she said, it's all presumption. And as long as you keep replying to them and sending in your money, then they'll say that you've contracted with them. But if you ask them where the contract is, as you saw, you don't have to pay anymore.
Since it is a voluntary compliance system, the federal tax laws, they cannot force you to pay tax, and they don't, despite what some of you might think. We incriminate ourselves by ticking the yes box when we tick the tax return form.
There you go, solutionsempowerment.org for everyone in Australia. Same story. You do not have to pay tax unless you contract with them and agree to. So go check out those two sites, guys, and they'll lead you to all the documents that you need, which are legal and printed by the tax departments, and basically will get you out of any contract with them. So go do it. If you're in America and you've done this, let everyone in the chat know, either the website or whatever, where to get the information, because, this is a very good way to starve the beast. Let's stop paying them for nothing, right? All they do is waste our money anyway, give themselves exorbitant, salaries. They're above the law, and on top of that, they're stealing left, right, and center, and they're very dodgy characters. So, yeah, get on the no tax bandwagon. Jeez, some of those girls, they're very flexible. Oh my God, I thought they were going to break something. Yeah, wow. The youth, right? Remember that? I definitely need to start exercising more. I mean, when I was in my, 20s, late teens and that, I could do the splits. I did a lot of martial arts, taekwondo and stuff, and I could do some pretty cool stuff, but yes, a little bit out of shape these days. So definitely time to get my fit back on. I'm choosing to believe that's real. I mean, we just don't know anymore, right? And I'm sure I'll see in the comments that was AI, but who knows? I'm choosing to believe it's real. And, who knows what AI is, right? As far as I'm concerned, most of the news is AI. So, and everyone believes that's real. So, but I don't know. What do you think, real or not? Because that was some amazing skill.
Ah, yes, so you're struggling with your eyesight and your doctor said there's nothing you can do about it except glasses and contacts. Well, let me explain something. There's certain natural plant-derived that when you take, actually strengthen the eyes, improve circulation to the eyes, improve the health of the macula and the retina, and they're so easy to get a hold of. It won't cost you thousands. So what are the 3 things that I'm talking about? Astaxanthin, bilberries, and pearl powder. You can also use castor oil to rub onto your eyelids before you sleep. And you can use a red light panel over your eyes, with your eyes shut of course, to boost circulation and the mitochondria in the eyes to improve sight. It's simple. Also get a pair of glasses that block blue light. You don't want that, especially not at night. During the day it's okay. Follow the circadian rhythm. During the day, get blue light, doesn't matter. At night, off. Red light. And go outside. Maybe looking at the screens has trained your eye muscles to only see short range. You can't see long range. So go outside, look at the clouds, look at the trees in the distance. That's going to help the muscles behind your eyes and it's going to strengthen your eyes. Now, I'm not making claims. I'm not saying this is going to cure you. I'm not a doctor. This is just my advice. But do your own research. Some people can be led astray, but not me. Not me!
Well, yes, I need that. Yeah, the last 6-7 years working on a computer has not done my eyes any favor. I do have a nice balcony now, though, with a nice long view where I sit out when I can. Yeah, but all those other things, like castor oil is good. Make sure you get the organic stuff, organic castor oil. You can get this, on most sites. Well, can you see that? That's not very in focus, is it? There. Yeah, I think I got that one off iHerb. And yeah, I can't remember everything else that he said there, but the red light, I know you can buy red light masks. But yeah, have you used any of these, methods? Have you improved or cured, your eyesight? Let us know in the comments. And if not, are you going to try some of these? Hope you do. And if you do, come back and let us know how it went. And while I've got you guys, thanks for spending some time with me. If you are enjoying this video, please do give me a like, hype it up, all that kind of stuff, share it around, and leave me your comments. And let's try and break the algorithm, even though it seems to have its eye on me. Yeah, let's break it and get this video out to more people.
One formation had everyone baffled and people were saying, well, what is this?
For years, people dismissed crop circles as pranks and random patterns deliberately pressed into fields overnight. But in 2008, Italian inventor Umberto Baudo argued that certain crop circles encode precise geometric relationships, layouts that can be translated into physical systems designed to generate energy. That claim alone was extreme. But what made it harder to ignore was what he did next.
I think they're made by aliens or extra-dimensionals. I mean, it's a big universe.
He started building those systems in his own workshop. And if those designs actually work, then they wouldn't just be unusual machines. They would represent a form of energy technology that has never been publicly demonstrated, possibly one of the most suppressed ideas in modern history. The first claim. Baudo's idea only makes sense if you understand exactly what he was claiming and why it immediately puts him at odds with established physics. In any mechanical system, energy has to come from somewhere. If you spin a wheel, the energy comes from whatever force you use to start it. As the wheel turns, it loses energy to friction in the bearings, air resistance, and internal stress. That loss is unavoidable. Eventually, the system slows down and stops. This isn't a debated theory, it's one of the most consistently tested principles in science. Baudo's claim challenges that outcome directly. He argued that certain crop circle patterns encode very specific geometric relationships, ratios between circles, distances from a central point, and offset rotational axes. When those relationships are translated into physical components, they create a system where motion doesn't just continue, it increases under the right conditions. The key concept behind his designs is something called an eccentric rotation system. Instead of spinning perfectly around a centered axis, parts of the machine rotate off-center. That imbalance creates shifting forces as the system spins, and those forces can be redirected depending on how the components are arranged. In a typical machine, that imbalance would be a problem. It would cause instability, vibration, and energy loss. Baudo treated it as the solution. By arranging weighted components around an off-center core, based on the exact spacing he extracted from crop circle formations, he claimed the system could recycle part of its own motion. Instead of losing momentum steadily, it would reach a point where the internal forces begin reinforcing the rotation. At that stage, the machine wouldn't need continuous external input to keep spinning at high speed. The initial push gets it moving, but the geometry of the system determines what happens next. That is the part that conflicts with conventional physics. Because if a system maintains or increases motion without additional energy input, then either energy is being drawn from a source that hasn't been accounted for, or the measurements and assumptions behind the system are wrong. Baudo believed it was the first option. He argued that the designs extracted from crop circles were not accidental patterns, but precise configurations that allow mechanical systems to interact with forces we don't fully understand yet. That belief is what pushed him from analyzing patterns on paper to building physical machines in his workshop. Because at some point, the only way to test a claim like that is to stop talking about it and try to make it work. Unmeasured. Most people who study crop circles focus on how they look. They take aerial photos, compare shapes, and argue about whether the patterns are man-made or not. Baudo ignored that entire approach. Instead, he treated each formation like a mechanical diagram that had been scaled up to the size of a field. He started by isolating specific types of formations, ones with multiple concentric rings, repeating circles, and clear off-center placements. These weren't chosen because they looked impressive. They were chosen because they contained structure that could be measured. The first thing he focused on was ratios. He mapped the distance from the center of a formation to each outer circle, then compared those distances to each other. In several cases, the spacing followed consistent numerical relationships. When one circle was placed at a certain distance, the next wasn't random. It matched a proportional increase that repeated across different formations. That's what got his attention. If crop circles were just decorative, there would be no reason for those ratios to stay consistent across different locations and years. But if they were diagrams, those ratios could represent something functional, like gear spacing or rotational timing. From there, he moved to alignment. Some formations weren't centered perfectly. Smaller circles were placed slightly off-axis from the main structure. To most people, that looks like artistic variation. To an engineer, that looks like an eccentric layout, exactly the kind of configuration used to create uneven force during rotation. Baudo documented the offset of each component relative to the center, then translated those offsets into mechanical positions. He wasn't guessing. He was converting measured distances into physical placements. Next came sequencing. Certain formations contained repeating patterns that appeared in a specific order: large circle, smaller circle, gap, then another circle at a precise angle. When he mapped those sequences, they resembled the layout of rotating assemblies where timing between components matters. At that point, he wasn't looking at crop circles anymore. He was looking at instructions. To test that idea, he recreated simplified versions of these patterns using basic materials. Instead of crops, he used magnets and weighted components arranged in the same geometric relationships he had mapped from the fields. These early models weren't meant to generate energy. They were meant to answer one question: do these patterns translate into systems that actually move in a controlled way? When the components were arranged according to the extracted ratios and offsets, the systems rotated more smoothly than random configurations. When he changed the spacing, even slightly, the motion became unstable or inefficient. That result changed the direction of his work completely. Because at that point the patterns weren't just visually consistent, they were mechanically sensitive. The exact positioning mattered, which is what you would expect from an engineered system, not a random design. That's when Baudo stopped treating crop circles as something to interpret, and started treating them as something to build. And once he made that shift, the next step was obvious. He needed to turn those layouts into full-scale mechanical systems and see what would happen when they were pushed beyond simple rotation tests.
Wow, that was very interesting, wasn't it? Crop circles. What do you think crop circles are? I think that they are Earth intelligence, basically. I think that they're made by Earth energy, and I agree. I think that they are blueprints, right, of different ways to do things. My thought was probably, it's to do with, construction and architecture, how to build things, that are based around resonance and harmony and all this kind of stuff. And I also did think that, there was definitely some technology in there, but to convert them into actual machines, I mean, that is cool. That's a whole nother level, right? I think I'm going to have to look into that a bit more because, I think that crop circles are a lot of the information that was used to build the old world buildings and all of their society, really, right? Because it was all based on resonance and frequency. And I think that's where they got a lot of their info. And so is that where they learn about free energy machines? Is it literally Earth intelligence? Because, it's interesting, right? Crop circles have pretty much been around, forever, right? And the Earth is intelligent and real. I don't believe we live in a simulation and it's all digital. That's just silly in my mind. And, look what's happening to the Earth at the moment, right? Like the Elites, the psychopathic invaders are trying to destroy it, right? Look what they're doing to the waterways. They're cutting down all the forests. They're mining everywhere. They're just wreaking havoc with Mother Nature. And a big part of that is fuel, right? Energy, coal mining, oil, all these things that they need, gas, and then all the components to make cars and trains and planes and automobiles, right? All this stuff. That's having a massive effect on the Earth. So is it doing this to show us how to get free energy so we don't need to do all that stuff anymore? Just a random thought I had. But I mean, in the end, it's not even us doing it, right? It's the corporations run by psychos that are out there destroying the Earth. It's not we the people. And, every time that, a better invention comes along, like the water car or something, they kill that person. So, it's not us, but maybe the Earth is giving us, a bit of a heads up on how we can create our own free energy devices. What do you think? And have you heard of this guy before? Do you know any more information? Let me know in the comments.
So check out this video where a man attaches a copper wire and flies a drone up to about 115 meters and shows off the ether in action.
All right, I'm gonna stop at 115 and hold steady. All right, it didn't blow up yet.
Oh, by the way, meet the aerial film crew. I just thought this was a cool shot.
Oh yeah, I'm getting shocked right now.
This time I just used the electroscope as a quick voltage check.
Woo! Now that's a few thousand volts right there.
All right, let's see if there's enough current to make this Franklin bell work.
Oh, dude!
Freaking working, buddy! Yeah! It's a really cool process. The aerial wire places a positive charge on this can, which then influences the foil ball to deliver electrons from the grounded can, which is directly connected to Earth. The clouds finally opened up, so I connected up the corona motor. Like before, one side was connected to ground, while the other was attached to the aerial wire. And after just a few seconds... Hey, she's spinning! This is just remarkable. It never really spun that fast, but I just sat and enjoyed the miracle. I mean, I quite literally was siphoning energy straight from the atmosphere. This motor was operating off of several kilovolts, which you could actually hear if you stopped the motor and brought your finger near the aerial wire. That's the sound of coronal discharge. Oh. Not long after, the wind started picking up, so we packed up.
Cool, hey? Ether energy, there you go. He just showed you that it's there. All we need is the machines and all the processes to draw it out, right? And it's just natural energy that's created by the Earth, and all you do is tap into it, which is basically go up high where it just is, where it lives, run a wire down, and then you just run that through whatever device you want the energy to run through, and then back into the ground. So you're literally just becoming part of the circuit that's already there, and it's all free. So there you go. I think it's time. I think this is going to start happening. I think it's definitely time for the oil industry to fall.
But what also is interesting about Victor Schauberger is he had a flying saucer that was made out of copper. Isn't that interesting? And when the Americans invited Victor Schauberger over, he allegedly, after they took his technology for the first flying saucer. The Germans and the Austrians had the first flying saucers, and then Americans took that over. But with the whole copper thing right there, that is a copper flying saucer. Now, what's interesting is if you put uranium in that flying saucer, you have unlimited energy mixed also with copper, which is captivating all of the energy that's all around, because uranium works as a collector of electricity. So you have a ship which flies around for free and doesn't depend on Rockefeller oil. That's an interesting thing to kind of think about. You know, copper and uranium, something to kind of think about. And let's get into Victor Schauberger with copper. Victor Schauberger was the electroculture fanatic. He realized that when you put copper into your gardens, your plants will grow like crazy.
There you go, Victor Schauberger, hey? He was around in the 30s and 40s, so pre-World War One. I'm not sure exactly when he died. It may have been after the war, but interesting, right? He's from that region. You know, World War Two, the country that we're not supposed to mention. You know, I suppose I can say Germany, right? But can't mention the leader. Of course, they created the bell, right? Which was, you know, a floating bell, right? Like a flying saucer type thing. Is this where they got the information to do that, right? And then, of course, there was New Schwaberland down in Antarctica. Admiral Byrd went down there and was saying there was UFOs coming out. Was that a breakaway civilization from Germany? I don't know, but that technology, as he said, then got taken to America. We know about Project Paperclip. And then what happened just after World War II in the 50s? Roswell, spaceship, right? Crashed. You know, spaceship, you know, outer spaceship. That's what they say, but clearly it's not. Was that just one of theirs? Is this the line? Is this, you know, how it's come through? You know, Victor either discovered that technology or it was handed down to him. It got through to the government in Germany in World War II. They developed it further. The Americans stole it from Victor, and then they got all the scientists who had developed it into more, brought them across, and then they started making their own. And is that what we're seeing in the skies and have been seeing for the last 50, well, what are we talking, 70 years, right? 70 plus years. You know, because we often ask, where do these, you know, UFOs come from? We know they're not coming from outer space. A lot of them definitely have been seen going into and out of the water. Does that mean that they are coming from creatures down there? Well, not necessarily. They may be machines that can go under the water as well. It's a good way to not be detected, right? No one's looking down there, but they'll see you in the skies. And, you know, we have all these companies in the USA like Raytheon and things like this. We have all these secret projects. We have all the Black Book projects. You know, we have all these CIA documents talking about this kind of technology. And then, of course, all they do is they put out their Bob Lazars to say, no, you know, it's made for space aliens. You know, the seats were different and it wasn't made for us. And then you have all these videos of the Greys and the stories that are coming out and blah, blah, all this massive narrative to all designed so we don't look at the US government. Because what are they doing? Abducting people. Well, yes, I'm sure that would work. Problem we have is our government, right? This is clearly an agenda and they are pushing it. They've been made to push it. They get paid well to push it. They don't care about us, right? MJ said it. All I want to tell you is they don't really care about us. But there you go, guys. That is the end of another one. Thank you for spending some time with me. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do give me a like, leave your comments, and share it around, hype it up. Let's try and get this out to more people. And, start to dispel what's going on, right? Start to get rid of the fear, start to really get realistic about all this, because there's so many conspiracy theories out there. And, what I'm realizing is most of them aren't based on much. Most of them, the information comes from one source, and it's just been expanded out exponentially, right? Just opinion based on opinion based on opinion. And a lot of it leads to fear and helplessness and hopelessness, and that's not helping. So yeah, I would appreciate it if you help me get this out to a wider audience, because we're also at war with YouTube, right? They don't seem to like what I'm saying, but I'm glad you sit and listen to me. But yeah, thanks again for spending some time with me. Stay awesome, because you are, and I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
Steven!
We can't do that to Dog. He can't walk.
How'd you get up there? Oh, that's outside.
I'll be right back. Move your nose.
Give me my shoe. I know it. It hurts so bad.
Mick, come here. Come here. Let's get a treat.
Mr. Horse, are you coming to get some?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm using the bathroom. Chopper.
Are you okay? Look at this distinguished gentleman. Look at the way he is sitting, yes.
What are you doing?
He's going. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! Oh! Hey!